Welcome back to the show and welcome back to Track. After 20 years of war, the Taliban have swept to victory in Afghanistan. How does this reflect on other terrorist groups? For instance, Boko Haram in Nigeria. There are concerns that with a Taliban-led Afghanistan, the Islamic State in West Africa province, as ISWAP, the breakaway faction of Boko Haram, may get more support and Nigeria will suffer of the consequences. Now, recall that President Muhammadu Buhari had warned that the war on terror is not over, but is shifting to Africa. We are right here in the studio to discuss this further. Laide Akango is a public affairs analyst. Hello, Laide. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, Laide.
Michael. Good morning, Margaret.
You look really refreshed this morning.
Yeah, well, it's Monday morning.
Simply refreshed.
It's Monday morning and we had a two-day weekend, so I think everybody should have taken time to rest a bit.
Beautiful. Now, former President, the former British Prime Minister Tony Blair has called Joe Biden's action that eventually led to the U.S. Withdrawal from Afghanistan dangerous, tragic, and unnecessary. But for Joe Biden, there is that insistence that it is now or never. So who is right here? Who is wrong? And why?
Well, good morning once again. I think there's a middle point. Both sides are right to some extent, but Joe Biden saying that it is now or never at the point, because it was not even Joe Biden that started talking about withdrawing American forces from Afghanistan. It was actually President Trump. However...
No, but Trump was against Joe Biden's action. He criticized.
I'm getting there.
Okay, okay.
You know, it didn't just withdraw. They started negotiating about withdrawal.
Okay.
They started talking about it before Joe Biden came into office. However, what Trump, because I saw Trump on Fox News criticizing Biden.
Yeah.
And the point he made was that Biden just withdrew the forces. There are many arms and ammunition left by the Americans, which will now be in the hands of the Taliban. You know, there were helicopters, there were many, you know, there's so much arsenal left by the Americans that Biden should have moved all those ones out first. Because everybody knows Taliban for what they are. That even when they didn't have sophisticated weapons, they were terrible. Now that they have the kind of weapons that America took there at their disposal, that, well, not only Afghanistan, but the entire Southeast Asia region, you know, is in danger. So I think I agree with President Trump on that. Because there's a huge humanitarian crisis now in Afghanistan. Everybody has bombarded Kabul airport. They want to leave the country. And that is the first step Joe Biden should have taken. The people who should have withdrawn last, he withdrew first. The forces should have stood ground up till the last person, either an American, Briton, Nigerian, or whoever that wanted to leave, except whoever didn't choose to leave. You know, he should have waited until everybody who desires to leave Afghanistan has left. And even those people who are Afghans, who work with the American forces, maybe as interpreters, or even some of the, and even press, because now press is under siege. The moment Taliban ran over Kabul, all of them had to change their programming content. You know, I was watching yesterday that many of them that had some programs, you know, that maybe try to expose Afghans to certain valuable culture, which could be foreign to Afghanistan, they had to go back and change. And even many of them now said, campaign about maybe democracy, human rights and stuff like that is not Taliban wants to hear. And now, everybody's afraid. Many people who work as interpreters or even nurses, people who work with the Red Cross, everybody is afraid. Because to the Taliban, you are an enemy if you don't believe in the Taliban ideology and an agenda. It doesn't matter whether you are a Muslim or not. In fact, their own agenda is beyond Islam. You know, it's their brand of politics just covered with the toga of religion. So that is that.
Okay, but now relating it to Nigeria and the Boko Haram, the faction of the breakaway faction, that's Boko Haram now, there's a statement here says there are concerns that with the Taliban-led Afghanistan, the Islamic State in West Africa province, Iswap, the breakaway faction of Boko Haram may get more support, and Nigeria will suffer consequences. The president has related his concerns towards this.
Well, as at the moment, before it will take Taliban themselves to settle down, I think any serious country should have taken steps to ensure that even if Taliban wanted, they won't be able to penetrate. However, the danger here is that it will embolden, even without support, it will embolden all the terror groups, you know, because they will feel that it's only a matter of time, you know, like they say, the only difference between the word here and there is the letter T, which stands for time. So they will believe to themselves now that it's a matter of time they too will achieve what Taliban achieved. So even if they want to renege, even if they want to surrender, they will be emboldened. Now, that is one. The other thing is, at the rate, although some of the time the army denies it, but at the rate we heard that some Boko Haram militants repented and therefore they are being integrated in society, it's dangerous. If you look at the Taliban, for instance, there is Ali Barada, who I think is the second in command now. I think he's the second in command of the Taliban movement now. He was captured sometimes in 2018. He was captured sometimes in 2018 in Pakistan. And by 2020, he was one of the people negotiating on behalf of Taliban about peace talks and everything. Nobody knew that they had the agenda that they will continue fighting. You know, nobody knew they had the agenda to continue fighting. Because as of 2020, he was on the side of Taliban, negotiating with international agencies, because like I said, he was captured in Pakistan. He was actually in prison until about, I think, February 2020, thereabout, before he was released. So he signed a number of papers on peace agreement on behalf of the Taliban, you know. So now, he now being second in command, but nothing is clear yet, because when these kind of terror groups are in charge, you know, many things can change so fast, you know, because they are not that organized. They don't have a particular, you know, system they want to run. It's like it's on the whims of caprices of the whoever thinks is the head, and even there could be infighting in their rank and file too. So, but as we speak, I think it's the second in command. Some people, in some quarters, he is being touted to be made the head of the government, but then there were other people, you know. But he has been I think he's 58 by now, and he has been involved with this Taliban thing since he was like 24, 25, you know. So he's well experienced, is there, it's long-standing. Now, another thing that is dangerous for Nigeria or any such country in any part of the world that has not fought terror, you know, to the point that they can't, you know, function any longer, is that you keep up splinter groups. Like in Afghanistan now, there is another group called Masov. Everybody is only talking about Taliban. Taliban has come to Kabul, which is the capital, so the focus is on them. But there are other parts of Afghanistan where you have other terrorist groups. So civil war is likely going to break out in Afghanistan because those ones have vowed not to, you know, submit or surrender to Afghanistan.
All right, now I would want us to bring this further home. That's talking about Nigeria. You've said that the mass surrendering of Boko Haram spells danger
Oh, a lot of it.
No. Now, one had attributed this to the extra efforts by the Nigerian military that has eventually resulted in this mass renunciation by Boko Haram members, and not the direction you were going.
I think where the problem is infusing them into the society and saying they have been rehabilitated. I think basically that's where the issue is on my part.
What if it's a ploy? What if it's a ploy to, come back into society, get a stronger foothold? Like it happened in Pakistan. They went ahead to even take some of them into the army. So went just 11 days after American troops withdrew, and the members of the Pakistani military who meant well, who actually had the interest of the country at heart, when they saw that majority of them in Pakistani army uniform are actually Taliban apologists. That was why many of them ran, because they would have rather fought in Afghanistan, Afghan military uniform. All those that they believed they integrated. All of, just like it's happening in Boko Haram now, they are saying that they repent. He has said it only by words of mouth. Do you see his heart? You know my point. You don't know his heart. So it could be a ploy, and you have them in thousands coming to say that they have repented.
All right.
Now, if they are integrated into the army, who tells you they are not trying to infiltrate? Who tells you they are not going to work against the government of Nigeria?
That's your view. Definitely others share a different view. We're going to come back to you to talk some more on another aspect of our discussion this morning. But for right now, we are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the second topic for discussion this morning on the show. Don't go away. You're welcome back to the show, Daybreak Monday. And now we are delving into the second segment of our discussion this morning. The Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, has condemned the recent killings of 5 farmers from Modakeke on Friday while heading to their farms. A development some have blamed on the decade-long communal feud between Ile-Ife and the community. In the wake of the attack, several Ile-Ife residents were forced to close their businesses over fears of reprisal from Modakeke indigents. Some mischief makers tried to link the criminality to the long-resolved Ife-Modakeke dispute. The Palace of Ife warned Ife and Modakeke residents not to give communal coloration to the incident. Laide is still very much around here. Is there any reason whatsoever to attribute those killings, to the age-long feud between the two communities in question?
Well, that's a very good question, and at this moment, some of the time, you have some people who don't want peace for a particular, set of people, place, or whatever. It's two-way, because except maybe there's a clear recording, so I'll place it in two perspectives.
Okay.
It's likely that it's just sheer criminality, even in 3 perspectives. But the point is, if it's just sheer criminality, it won't be up to 5 people, maybe just 1 person, except maybe the 5 people are attacked about the same time, and chances are that some of the victims knew some of the assailants, the attackers. Then maybe for fear of they could identify us, they could expose us, then they killed the rest. But if they were not killed together, 5 people, at the same time, it could be somebody trying to bring back the age-long feud. That's the second perspective. But then the third perspective, which I want to hold strongly, is that some people maybe will think for some time, if you look at Nigeria as a whole, Nigeria has been boiling left, right, and center. But not until NSAS protests did Southwest burn. Southwest has enjoyed relative stability. You know, there could be tension, you know, in the hearts of the people. But one way or the other, there has been stability compared to the north, compared to the southeast, south, where you have Niger Delta militant men and the rest of them, you know, threatening to burn this down, you know, and like you have in the east, especially in Imo. So you never can tell. It could be some people now thinking that, okay, maybe because the government at the center still feels comfortable because they are looking at the southwest and nothing's happening there. And mischief makers, they are dangerous. So they could have started down that, what can you ignite? What can you set on fire that just start it, the fire will burn on its own, you know, endlessly. And if you look at the Yoruba land entirely, the entire southwest, the only communities where there's a feud, which could be, you know, ignited and you can expect that it can explode, is the Ife Modakeke. Or rather, those who did it on their own may not be either Ife or Modakeke people. Maybe they only calculated that kill Ife people or Modakeke people. The other side will want to, you know, retaliate, and then Yoruba land will burn. Yeah. So it could be that. Okay, and that is what I feel strongly, because, you know, especially all those people agitating for Yoruba nation, this, that. So it could be that, okay, if Nigeria is burning, if Nigeria is burning left, right, and center, then more people would rise up for
to agitate.
To agitate that, let's disintegrate and stuff like that.
So that's I would have said, why would someone want to do that? But then people have different opinions, different reasons why they do
different
what
mindset,
they do.
different agenda. You know, everybody has different aspirations. And,
and I was also going to ask, the issue of communal crisis in Nigeria. Now this thing can lead to something more than what we are looking at it from. It's something that the next village or next community will not be happy that someone from their community has been killed, and would likely attribute it to the communal crisis they had later. But how can these things be solved totally, so that it doesn't go beyond what we can control?
I think the Ife has taken a very good step by immediately responding, you know, and appealing to people from both sides to maintain law and order and keep the peace. Let me tell you a personal experience. I think the one that happened around, sometimes in the 90s, I had a friend who is from Modakeke. She was burying her late father, and we went there. We were at the party. All of a sudden, we just said, they are coming. Who are the people coming? They said, Ife people. So, from that party, I had to, go with some people across bush paths, which if I had gone alone, I would have lost my way. So at the end of the day, we emerged on OAU campus, of FML University campus. We entered the campus from the back. So, because even during that crisis, nobody went to the campus. So most people, when there was any crisis, they ran to the campus, because everybody knew that you had many people from outside two
communities, warrior communities.
Working from the two communities, either schooling or working on AU campus. So that was about the only safe place then. So, and like I told you, we were in a party. I think we have just eaten, and maybe they were just bringing bottles to the table for people to wash down
dessert and
what they ate, and we just saw some people running into the party that they are coming. And funny enough, even some of the celebrants who are burying their late father family, you just saw them changing from their party clothes to, it's like
they're prepared for that.
It was no, because that time the crisis had not been fully resolved at that time. It's like, I think between 80s and mid-90s, the crisis occurred 2 or 3 times. So I'm talking about that. I think that was the very last one that happened. So you will see that people, slept and woke up with the mindset that there could be crisis at any point in time, because we were in a party. I saw that one happen I saw it happen, and it was like, you know. So even seeing that alone, I didn't see any killing, anything. And I didn't go further than that, because by the time I would get to Ibadan, we had feedback that everything was under control all over again. But then, even that 1 or 2 hour experience I had was terrible.
Right.
So, war is not no child's play. And mischief makers, you know, they could want to maybe just see that Southwest burns. Because even at the height of Ife crisis, I remember the one, more especially the one that happened in the 80s. I was in school. There were 2 guys. I won't mention their names. One is from Ife, another from Modakeke. As students, they had to fight.
Wow.
It's like, you know, classmates, everybody friends. But when that crisis started,
They had to fight.
they became sworn enemies.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks
you
a
so
lot.
much. I would like to say war is senseless, peace is priceless. And then give peace a chance. I think that's like a very popular quote. We quote it all the time, but we really do not know the meaning of what we quote. War is senseless, peace is priceless. You will never know the importance of peace until you lose your peace. Don't lose your peace. Yeah.
And do listen to the voice of the royal father there. We need no war. We have so many battles going on here and there. Enough of it. And that's the way we are drawing the curtain on this very segment.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Laide.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Directly after this timeout, sports lovers will have their own time to smile. That's when Jidechi steps in with Sports Update. Stay with us.